Hello, good evening. It's News360 coming to you live from the news hub here at Adesawe Kanda. I am Portia Gabor.
And I am Martin Asiedu-Dartey. Let's bring you the headlines for the next 1 hour.
News360 Headlines is brought to you by
Flamingo Paint,
Pepsodent Charcoal and Pepsodent Herbal, EcoBank.
Tonight, managers of Wontumi Multimedia Company Limited to hold a crucial meeting with the National Communications Authority over the suspension of their broadcasting license.
Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association demands immediate placement for some 1,000 nurses and midwives who completed training between 2021 and 2024 but are still waiting for postings.
And later in business, Fitch Solutions projects Bank of Ghana to cut policy rate to 23% in 2025, 20% in 2026, and lower inflation and stable cedi.
Coming up in sport news, Ghana Football Association approves an amendment to extend the presidential term limit for its leadership from 2 to 3 terms.
And on the international front, at least 40 people have been killed in an attack on a camp for displaced people in Sudan's western Darfur region. We are live around the world on 3news.com. We are also streaming on Facebook as well. Do let us know what you make of the stories we have for you tonight.
The news now in detail, and President John Mahama has pledged to set up a fund to finance the education and welfare of children of victims of the August 6th helicopter crash, which led to the demise of government officials and military personnel. He made this announcement at the funeral rites of the former Deputy National Security Coordinator, Alhaji Mohammed Muniru. A report by Lord Idoasari.
Islamic final funeral rites, known as a dua, of Alhaji Mohammed Limuna Muniru brought together scores of Muslims led by the National Chief Imam to celebrate and honor the memory of the late Deputy National Security Coordinator. In his tributes to his former appointee, President Mahama described Alhaji Muniru as selfless, dependable, and hardworking. He hinted that efforts are underway to cater for the welfare of the children of the victims of the crash.
He was virtually my personal assistant. You could call Muniru at 1 a.m. in the night and tell him, Muniru, go to Yendi or go to Damango. He won't hesitate, he won't wait till morning. He will set off that same night and go and perform the errand that you have sent him to perform. We'll do a state funeral on Friday the 15th for all of them. And at the funeral, we will announce some program for creating a fund that will assist with the education of their children.
Spokesperson of the National Chief Imam, Sheikh Arimiyal Shaibu, was full of praise of the late Minister of State.
He likes to be very charitable. And of late, I learned something which I didn't know myself. I was told that he works on the street of Nima, and small shops where poor women are selling. He will just ask about the worth of the wares, what is in the shop, in the small shop. And if he's told about the amount, he will just pay off and ask that he will give him everything from the shop. And he takes it out and give it off for charity.
Members of Parliament from northern regions also highlighted the impact of Alhaji Muniru on their careers.
Alhaji saw me as a project in the just ended elections of 2024. He kept saying to me that, Hajia, you are the only female candidate of our party in Savannah region. And we have to do everything to make sure that you retain your seat. And that is exactly what he did. He alone dug 15 boreholes in my constituency. In a constituency that water is a challenge, you know what 15 boreholes means for the people of Salaga South constituency.
As a person, he's a nephew. The mother is my sister. And so
Both Wasipeda, Zaboya, and Damango, we are all grieving because we have lost an illustrious son in the person of Alhaji Mohammed Muniru Limuna. It's quite irreparable, but Allah says He gives and He takes, and so we take solace from that.
Former Environment Minister under the Akufo-Addo administration, Samuel Abu-Jinapo, indicated that Alhaji Muniru will be sorely missed for his humor.
Alhaji Muniru was more than an uncle to me. 2 weeks ago, he was in my office. We spent almost 2.5 hours together. And 3 days before his untimely death, we spoke on the phone. And today we are here to just say prayers for him and to ask the good Allah to receive him in heaven.
3 words that define what you think is legacy.
Integrity, hard work, and dedication.
What would you miss about him?
Well, his sense of humor. And his sense of comradeship and loyalty. He was a fantastic ally in many ways. We'll miss him dearly.
Lodi Rasari, TVC News, Accra.
And in the northern region, the final funeral rite of the late Member of Parliament for Tamale Central Constituency, Dr. Ibrahim Mutala Mohammed, has been held in Tamale. Scores of people from all walks of life gathered at his family house to observe the funeral rites.
Hundreds, if not thousands of mourners, including traditional authorities, the clergy, ministers of state, members of parliament and other sympathizers attended the Islamic funeral rites at the family house of the late Tamale Central Member of Parliament, Dr. Ibrahim Mutala Mohammed, National Chairman of the NDC, Johnson Asiedu-Dartey, who led a government delegation to the funeral, eulogized the late Environment, Science and Technology Minister as a God-fearing person, noting that his death has united Dagbon and the 5 regions of the north.
Listening to Mutala, you begin to find out, was he trained in the Bible or in the Quran, or how was he trained? Because when he quotes religion, he supports everything with verses from all the great books. I'm so excited that the passing of our brother Mutala has brought Dagbon together.
Johnson Asiedu-Dartey also urged President Mahama not to be cowed by the so-called prophecies of calamity.
So those who are already prophesying about more calamities, let us continue praying to Allah that His wish be done. And let us encourage our leadership in government, particularly President John Dramani Mahama, that he should not be cowed down or be daunted by whatever prophecies that are coming out, because we know that nothing happens on the blind side of Allah.
On getting a replacement for the Tamale Central constituency in Parliament, the NDC chairman, while applauding the New Patriotic Party for their decision not to contest the by-election, cautioned possible aspirants to hasten slowly in their quest to represent the people of the constituency in Parliament.
We thank our brothers in MPP for declaring that they will not contest us in Tamale Central. So it's a challenge to us whether we are going to fight among ourselves in getting a replacement in Tamale Central. So on behalf of the party, I want to beg everybody that don't let us rush over each other as to who should succeed Honorable Mutala.
A leading member of the Ambaria Sunni community in Tamale, Sheikh Samir Isa Idris, who delivered the sermon at the funeral, urged Ghanaians to be each other's keeper.
Whatever thing you are doing, you can't tell your exit time, you can neither also tell your exit form, nor can you tell after your exit what will be the trend after your demise. At any time, any of us can leave this earth, can leave this world. Let's even don't get surprised when some of us who are still alive get lowered into their graves while their other heroes of the nation, the other six, are still yet on earth, not being buried yet.
The late Tamale Central Member of Parliament, together with 7 others, including Defense Minister Dr. Edward Omanibuama, died in a military helicopter crash on Wednesday, August 6.
We are staying on this particular issue of vigils, and we're going straight to the Ghana Air Force Base, where this evening we're told that they are holding a solemn candlelight vigil for the 8 men who lost their lives in a helicopter crash at the Adanse-Kwofrom area in the Ashanti region. This evening's candlelight vigil has brought together families and friends of the victims of the crash, and as we speak, tributes are being read in honor of the 8 men. Let's join the feed and find out what exactly is happening there.
That given the will, we have the capacity to achieve the impossible. But every takeoff is a calculated risk, even in times of peace. Rest well, Sandema Pirate. You have flown your final mission. We are proud of you. Sleep now, our dear colleague. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Dearly beloved, in this service, we respectfully acknowledge in the presence the Deputy Minister for Defense. We also have with us the Member of Parliament for Asin South and ranking member on the Defense and Interior Committee of Parliament, Honorable Reverend Intim Fojo. We also acknowledge the Chief of the Defense Staff, our service chiefs, and the Military High Command. Thank you and God bless you for being with us in this service. We respectfully invite now the number 3 Heli Wing to take the eulogy on behalf of the number 8 Heli Wing, which the crew belong to. The number 3 Heli Wing will take the tribute on behalf of the number 8 Heli Wing, which the crew belong to. Respectfully invite Squadron Leader Yali to take the eulogy for us. Tonight, under the quiet skies of Air Force Base Accra, we gather as one family to mourn, remember, and honor 3 gallant men of the Ghana Air Force. On 6th August 2025, Z9 Echo Hotel helicopter registration Golf Hotel Foxtrot 631 on official duty from Accra to Obuasi. On board were senior government officials, crew, and officers of exceptional skill.
So you had Squadron Leader Yali, who is reading the tribute, a eulogy on behalf of the 3 men who were the officers who were in charge of the helicopter that crashed. Now, the squad that are standing behind him are the team that the 3 men were a part of. So he's reading the tribute on behalf of the whole team to remember the 3 that fell. Let's speak to Noble Crosby and our reporter who is currently at the base to find out what exactly has been happening since the vigil started in the early hours of 6 p.m. The early minutes, I should say. Crosby, good evening. Thank you for your time. What exactly can you report beyond the eulogy messages that we are hearing?
If you come to the Air Force Base here in Accra, it's a sad moment. It's a sad candlelight vigil that is currently ongoing for 4 of the past 8 men who lost their lives in line of duty. Family members have gathered. Some have been in tears since the program began, and others are also reminiscing some memories or some thoughts of these men who lost their lives when they were embarking on this journey that turned out to be their last journey on earth. A lot of family members have gathered here. The families of some of the affected victims are also here, and they are all in a solemn moment right now, all partaking in this candlelight vigil. Also here we see some top brass of Ghana security architecture. Unfortunately, the defense minister, Dr. Omane Boama, was amongst these men who lost their lives when they were embarking on this journey. So the deputy defense minister is here. We also find the ranking member, the deputy ranking member on the Defense and Interior Committee of Parliament, also here, as well as the chiefs of the various security agencies in the country. The chief of the army staff is here, the chief of the naval staff is here, and a whole lot of other officials have gathered here. But Martin, if you're listening to the concerns, or if you're listening to the tributes that have been pouring in for these men who lost in the line of duty, a very touching tribute, very touching eulogies coming from their intake, or people they came into the service with. For Ernest Mensah Addo, Sergeant Mensah Addo, a tribute by his intake group was very touching. And as Mensah Addo was the technician on the flight when it crashed, and what his intake is telling us that he was a very steady hand who had mastery over this Z9 helicopter, the helicopter that these 8 men were in when the unfortunate incident happened. He was the technician on board that aircraft. Chuman Padu's group, they've also been sharing fond memories, eulogizing this dedicated servant of the Air Force. He was a flying officer, and he had a funny nickname. He was known as Jollof Hunter. So it tells us that he had very good relations with his intake group, and in the line of his duty, they're telling us that he was somebody who also did not joke with the duties that have been handed onto him. Same for Squadron Leader Anala. He was part of intake 54, and his mates have been sharing fond memories, eulogizing him passionately. So if you come here at the Air Force Base here, it's a solemn moment where the families have gathered, government officials have also gathered in honor of the fallen 8. Martin.
Noble Crosby Annan for that report from the Air Force Base here in Accra. You find more on our website, 3news.com.
Let's now go to the Ashanti region, where management of Kumasi-based Akoma FM, a subsidiary of Media General, has sympathized with the family of the former Ashanti Regional Minister Samuel Sarpong. The national vice chairman of the ruling NDC was among the 8 people who lost their lives after an helicopter carrying them crashed in the Adansi enclave.
Somber memories of a late husband still run through the unexpected mind of a wife. The shock is still evident at the home of the late national vice chairman of the ruling NDC, Samuel Sarpong. The visit by Akoma FM staff was to offer a word of condolence on behalf of management of Media General, led by Group CEO Beatrice Agyemang, to the bereaved family.
Flagstaff House at the control. To why you know, na yansu ya yogo Kumasi no. That's a yetuaso eba papa fi. Sana said, Sanya Kano, made me by Hana, Fimu, but to see him common across your nature. I command FM, the Diabe Dunia Dinana, Papa Kahumi.
Resident pastor of Akoma FM, Pastor promised encourage the wife and family to remain steadfast in this trying moment.
Still watching News 360 on TV3. Let's turn our attention to some other stories. Now, the deadline for returning items taken from the helicopter crash site has been extended as investigators continue to recover debris collected by individuals from the scene. In an interview with TV3, the Ashanti Regional Minister, Dr. Frank Amwakuhene, emphasized that every recovered item is critical to solving the mystery behind the crash and preventing future tragedies. The minister also assured the public that all efforts at the crash site on the day of the incident were carried out with good intentions.
Yesterday, the NADMO together with the assembly member and then the DC, they did a good job by making sure that those that were within the community, they made us have it. They pleaded for an extension because we were expecting everything yesterday. Because from some of the intelligence, we realized that some have actually traveled to the nearby towns, which meant that it was practically impossible getting all of them yesterday. So we still encourage them that they can still return it for the ransom we had made available to them. No matter how small the part may be, it's still very important for the investigation. There is not something to keep in your room for museum purposes whatsoever. It's something we need to facilitate the investigation. So we are still in touch with them. You will never get everyone appreciating what you do. And that is part of life. So it's about your intentions and your heart towards the service. That should give you self-fulfillment. We are not saying that things of this nature should happen again, but it makes us better people. So I want to encourage everyone who was on the field that everything that was done with good intention, clean heart, with all the support you needed to render and order. I'm sure that the efforts we put in, if our colleagues were there, they may have even done more. The reason for which we are all motivated to make sure that we support the process.
In more news tonight, the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association is raising alarm over the delay in recruiting more than 1,000 qualified nurses and midwives who completed training between 2021 and 2024, but are still waiting for government postings. According to the association, the delay in employing this group is putting immense pressure on existing healthcare workforce, especially in already understaffed facilities.
The leadership of the JNMA made the call during a ceremony to mark this year's International Youth Day in Accra. The association says, while Ghana has made progress employing over 90,000 nurses and midwives in the past 6 years and another 68,000 in recent times, a significant gap remains. Vice President of the association, Samuel Akologo, asked government to act swiftly.
I cannot conclude these observations without calling on the Ministry of Health, the Ministry of Finance to give the needed clearance for our 2021, 2022, 2023 cohort of qualified nurses and midwives. As they sit home, their skills are getting deteriorated. We cannot pretend to care for the health of the country if we are not ready to invest significantly in healthcare.
The JNMA's youth desk also echoed the call, urging government to increase investment in the health sector to make room for more employment opportunities.
Not forgetting the second batch of the 2020 year group who are yet to be employed despite the growing needs of our communities. These are not distant stories, but our stories. The stories of the young nurses and midwives in Ghana. And these stories are reflections of systemic gaps that must be addressed if we are serious about building a truly sustainable healthcare future.
Other speakers at the event emphasized the importance of empowering Ghana's youth through job creation and skills development, calling it essential to building a sustainable future. The association says it remains hopeful that swift action will be taken not just to reduce unemployment, but to strengthen the country's healthcare delivery system.
Let's take your attention now to one of our headline stories we have for you this evening, and it has to do with the suspension of a license of a number of media houses in Ghana. And what we do know for now is that the National Communications Authority has suspended the operations of 9 radio stations across the country, including 3 Wontumi FM stations in Accra, Kumasi, and Takoradi for various infractions. In a statement dated August 12, the NCA said the move follows the end of a 30-day grace period granted by President John Mahama for defaulting stations to rectify violations of broadcasting regulations. While some acted within the amnesty period, others failed to address key breaches such as unauthorized use of studio-to-transmitter link frequencies and operating from unapproved transmitter sites. The regulator says these stations were operating without a valid certificate of compliance, contrary to Regulation 54 of the Electronic Communications Regulations 2011, LI 1991. So it means that effective immediately, some of these media houses are going to be affected and are off air as we speak. So which institutions have been affected? In the jiffy, we'll speak to someone related to the Wontumi group to find out what exactly their challenge was. But on your screens now, you can see the radio stations that have been affected, 9 in total. They are Donplus Multimedia Limited, it's in Ho, Dreams Ghana Media Limited, Jam Multimedia Limited in New Ebirim and Kentampo, Jewel Group Limited, Pandai Star Community Radio, and then Unique Gateway.com Limited, that's in Nkoko. And we also know that 3 other media houses in Accra, Kumasi, and Takoradi, all belonging to the Wontumi group of companies, has also been affected. And some of the stations' licenses have been revoked. But first, let's hear from the Minister of Communications on the 30-day ultimatum that was given to these media houses that had earlier been warned that they stood the risk of their licenses being suspended.
Mr. Speaker, on 12 February 2025, shortly after I assumed office as the Minister for Communication, Digital Technology and Innovation, I issued a directive to the NCA to produce a complete listing of frequency authorizations granted or renewed within the preceding 60 days. The NCA's audit showed several cases of non-compliance with the regulation and conditions of broadcasting authorization. The preliminary audit revealed over 600 active radio stations with frequencies, many of which were inactive, expired, or improperly renewed. A few minutes ago, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, the President, directed that the Ministry of Communications, Digital Technology and Innovation work with the regulator, the NCA, to allow all the affected radio stations some additional time to correct the identified breaches within a defined time frame. Those who fail to do so shall have their authorizations formally revoked under the law. In line with this directive from His Excellency the President, the Ministry and the NCA have granted a further 30-day grace period to all defaulting.
Right, so let's go to the phone lines now and speak to Andy Apiakubi, who is lead counsel for Bernard Mfibo-Isiakon, the owner of the Wontumi Multimedia Broadcasting Company. Mr. Apiakubi, good evening. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Are you able to tell us what the challenge was, for which reason the Wontumi group of companies was unable to take advantage of the 30-day window to regularize your issues you had with the NCA?
Yes, according to NCA, my clients have not fulfilled the expectations. But my clients really instruct me to communicate to them that rather they have complied with the regulations, said that they are waiting for the NCA to come and conduct some inspection. And they have they have been ready for them to come for inspection, and they have been even paid the statutory fee to facilitate the inspection. They've been waiting for NCA to come, and they have not come. Probably that is the default in the arrangement.
The NCA was supposed to come, and they haven't come to do the inspection.
Yes, my instruction is that my clients have written to them to come and undertake the inspection of the site of the mosque. So they've been waiting, and they have not come. And the understanding of NCA, as we received the communication, is that we have not complied with the directive in respect of the development of the mosque. But we are saying that we have finished. It is left for them to come and inspect. So tomorrow we are filing a response to their communication, explaining our position, and hoping that the engagement will bring some finality to the impasse.
All right, Mr. Piakubi, thank you for at least letting us know what the next line of action would be, which is a meeting with the NCA. He is lawyer for Chairman to me, and also the owner of the 3 radio stations, which is part of a bigger 9 that have been suspended.
In other news, the University of Professional Studies Accra, UPSA, has marked a major milestone with the launch of its 60th anniversary celebrations. The celebrations will continue with a series of events and activities showcasing UPSA's commitment to innovation and professional excellence.
Established in 1964, UPSA started as IPS and has grown into a leading institution of higher learning known for its innovative programs and commitment to producing industry-ready graduates. Over the years, the university has maintained a strong focus on professional education, equipping students with the skills and knowledge needed to excel in their chosen fields. Chairman of the UPSA at 60 Committee, Kwabna Ajekum, highlighted the university's journey over the years.
Starting with 5 students, starting with professional qualifications. So then, even Chartered Institute of Marketing qualification was not part of it. You had ACCA, you had CIMA, and you had ICSA. We then added Chartered Institute of Marketing, and then later on, the undergraduate programs, graduate programs, and today we have PhD programs. We've moved from a chop boss to a digital era.
He also mentioned that more professional programs will be coming on board.
Future progress, we would want to see more professional programs coming on board. And if I say professional programs, we would want a situation that is not just finance, it's just not accountancy, it's just not marketing, that people would complete the academic side of things and progress into the professional qualifications. Or in other words, we would not want to see only marketing, only accountancy moving, or when the students leave campus, moving out with the dual qualifications of marketing degrees and professional marketing qualifications.
The theme for this year's celebration is 60 years of transformative education, empowering Africa's future business leaders.
You're watching News 360 on TV3. We have business, sports, entertainment coming up.
Reporting from the Takoradi Market Circle.
From the heart of the Upper West Regional Capital.
From the heart of the Ashanti Kingdom.
Reporting from Sunyani.
From the Central Business District of Navrongo.
The parliamentarians are on recess.
This is where it all unfolds. The moments that potentially alters the course of our nation and the world. These are the individuals we recognize, the voices we amplify, who appears on screen and who contributes behind the scenes. With professionalism at our core, we bring you news you can trust. Impact journalism that makes a difference. This illustrates how diverse perspectives enhance our strength and reinforces our mission. This is 3 News. Leaders in breaking news, exclusive interviews, facts and analysis on TV, radio, online and digital. 3 News, first in news.
Hello there, good evening and welcome to the business segment here on News 360. I am Michael Obudu. Now, Fitch Solutions is projecting that the Bank of Ghana will gradually lower its policy rate to 23% by the end of 2025 and further to 20% by the end of 2026. This follows a sharp 300 basis point cut to 25% in July 2025, with the UK-based research firm citing moderating inflation, stable exchange rate, and supportive global gold prices as key factors for sustained monetary easing.
The Bank of Ghana's benchmark interest rate is expected to drop further over the next 2 years, with UK-based Fitch Solutions forecasting 23% by the end of 2025 and 20% by the close of 2026. This follows the central bank's surprise 300 basis point cut to 25% in July, a move attributed to slowing inflation and a stronger cedi. In its latest report titled Monetary Easing to Persist in Ghana Until Mid-2026, Fitch Solutions predicts a 100 basis points reduction to 24% at the Monetary Policy Committee's September 2025 meeting, followed by another 100 basis point cut in November. The easing cycle, it says, will extend into the first half of 2026, supported by elevated gold prices, global trade uncertainty, and geopolitical risks that will keep the cedi stable and imported inflation pressures low. Average inflation is forecast to moderate from 22.9% in 2024 to 15.5% in 2025 and 12.2% in 2026, giving the central bank room to maintain a dovish stance in its upcoming meetings.
Ghana's pension fund managers are strategically shifting their investments away from government treasury bills driven by a sharp decline in interest rates and concerns of a potential future debt restructuring. Financial economist Dr. Asiedu-Dartey attributes this trend directly to the continuous fall in the government treasury bill rates.
Ghana's pension fund industry surged to an all-time high of 86.23 billion cedis in 2024, marking a 39.5% jump from 61.8 billion cedis in 2023, according to the latest financial sector report. Private pension schemes made up of Tier 2 and Tier 3 led the charge, with their assets rising to 63.88 billion cedis. SNET also saw its assets increase to 22.4 billion cedis, boosted by improved investment returns and government debt repayment. However, benefit payment grew to 6.46 billion cedis, highlighting increasing liabilities. The report indicates a shift in investment strategies as funds move away from government securities. According to financial economist Dr. Asiedu-Dartey, this strategic re-evaluation of investment portfolios is a response to both market conditions and the need for sound risk management in a changing financial landscape.
The returns on the treasury bill has been generally low, and pension managers would obviously rotate to look for investment that will offer a better risk-adjusted returns. And particularly for the 2024, we had just come from a DDEP, and fund managers are worried that in case their funds are concentrated in government securities and something like that happen again, they will be beaten twice.
Dr. Asiedu-Dartey noted the local bourse has become a very viable investment alternative.
The Ghana Stock Exchange is beginning to do better, and it offers a better alternative for pension funds to look at it. So the yield, even if we look at this year alone, the yield on the GNSC composite indices has gone up about 52%.
We'll turn our attention now to the currency and commodities market and bring you updates. That'll be all for the business segment here on News 360. I am Michael Obudu. Thank you for watching. Up next, the skits.
Reporting from the Takoradi Market Circle.
From the heart of the Upper West Regional Capital.
From the heart of the Ashanti Kingdom.
Reporting from Sunyani. From the Central Business District of Navrongo.
The parliamentarians are on recess.
This is where it all unfolds. The moments that potentially alters the course of our nation and the world. These are the individuals we recognize, the voices we amplify, who appears on screen and who contributes behind the scenes. With professionalism at our core, we bring you news you can trust. Impact journalism that makes a difference. This illustrates how diverse perspectives enhance our strength and reinforces our mission. This is 3 News. Leaders in breaking news, exclusive interviews, facts and analysis on TV, radio, online and digital. 3 News, first in news.
Significant step by approving a constitutional amendment to extraordinary Congress, which took place early on Tuesday in Prom Prom. Other key issues were also discussed at the event. My colleague Vilishen has more in the following report.
At the 31st GFA Congress held at the Ghana Man Soccer Center in Pram Pram, a number of key decisions were made. Top of the agenda was the presidential term limit for the GFA president. Now, it was agreed by voting that will be extended from 2 terms to 3 terms. 114 said yes, 6 said no, and 3 said they would not participate in the voting process at all. Now, when Keto Kraku was asked whether he would vie for the presidency again after his 2nd term ends, this is what he said.
I think that question is premature. We have, at the minute, almost 2.5 years to serve the Ghanaian game. And when it comes to that time, I will make a decision. Just like many other people who are eligible to make a decision and to contest. Okay, so this should not be a topic for us. What should be a topic is how we handle the new wind that is blowing around our domestic game.
Passed alongside the increase in the presidential term limit was the inclusion of a 2nd GFA vice president, and that spot has been reserved for a female. It is expected that will come into effect fully at the 2027 GFA elections. Also, the Ghana Premier League clubs will receive a huge cash boost. Now, 9,500,000 Ghana cedis has been invested as prize money for the top 15 Ghana Premier League sides. The winner would ultimately receive 2 million Ghana cedis, whilst the 15th place team will receive 200,000 Ghana cedis. Of course, 16th, 17th, and 18th will be relegated and so will not receive any prize money at all. Also, the referees will receive a huge boost because FIFA accredited referees who will be participating in the Ghana Premier League will receive 2,500 Ghana cedis per match, whilst the non-accredited FIFA referees will receive 2,000 Ghana cedis per match. And finally, the sports fund has finally been approved. The president of the land, John Dramani Mahama, has approved that sports fund for the development of sports in the next few years. Belishan for 3 Sports from the Ghana Man Soccer Center of Excellence in Pram Pram.
We'll continue to bring you more reactions from Congress. But before we wrap up here, just news coming in is that Kwesi Appiah's Sudan have made a statement in the 2025 African Nations Championship by thrashing Nigeria in the 2nd Group D match by 4-0. The commanding victory over Nigeria sends them top of Group D with 4 points level on points with 2nd place Senegal. Meanwhile, back-to-back defeats now sees the Super Eagles rooted to the bottom and officially become one of the first teams to be eliminated from the tournament. Well, that's all that will be wrapping up the sports segment here on News 360. You can get some more updates on our social media handles at 3SportsGH. My name is Ore Kwampofo.
Reporting from the Takoradi Market Circle.
From the heart of the Upper West Regional Capital.
From the heart of the Ashanti Kingdom.
Reporting from Sunyani. From the Central Business District of Navrongo.
The parliamentarians are on recess.
This is where it all unfolds. The moments that potentially alters the course of our nation and the world. These are the individuals we recognize, the voices we amplify, who appears on screen and who contributes behind the scenes. With professionalism at our core, we bring you news you can trust. Impact journalism that makes a difference. This illustrates how diverse perspectives enhance our strength and reinforces our mission. This is 3 News. Leaders in breaking news, exclusive interviews, facts and analysis on TV, radio, online and digital. 3 News, first in news.
reporting from the Takoradi Market Circle.
From the heart of the Upper West Regional Capital.
From the heart of the Ashanti Kingdom.
Reporting from Sunyani. From the Central Business District of Navrongo.
The parliamentarians are on recess.
This is where it all unfolds. The moments that potentially alters the course of our nation and the world. These are the individuals we recognize, the voices we amplify, who appears on screen and who contributes behind the scenes. With professionalism at our core, we bring you news you can trust. Impact journalism that makes a difference. This illustrates how diverse perspectives enhance our strength and reinforces our mission. This is 3 News. Leaders in breaking news, exclusive interviews, facts and analysis on TV, radio, online and digital. 3 News, first in news.
Heaven Black Insecticide Spray and Coil. Powered by 3 Entertainment.
Tonight in this segment, the Minister of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts, Jifa Gumashi, on Tuesday afternoon signed the Book of Condolence at the Ministry of Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation in honor of the victims of the helicopter crash. Reflecting on the values the fallen heroes embodied, she urged Ghanaians to show empathy to one another and serve the country with passion.
Everything about Mutala was fun. Even when you're upset with him, he still will make you laugh. It's been really difficult to come in here and talk about Mutala because we are on the same floor. We usually will climb up to our offices in the elevator together. The day before, he met me downstairs and told me how he's done work with the Waka project, which is the reclamation of the shoreline from Aplau to Afasini. He said that I'll shock you. I'm going to the Ashanti. When I come back, you see the thing I've done for you. And the next day, I know that he's no more. It's tough. If we will pause and reflect on the life that Omane Boama and Mutala lived. They lived through Ghanaian life stories. They exemplified what we should do, empathy for one another, and serving this country, and not attacking one another, telling lies about one another in the name of politics. What is that politics? What is it? Look at the videos we happily shared about this moment that should have evoked empathy from us. We used even that moment that should have evoked empathy from us. We used even that. We used even that to do politics. I think that we should all bow down our heads in shame. And government or officials who decide what we want to contribute to building the Ghana we all want.
Time now for international news.
At least 40 people have been killed in an attack on a camp for displaced people in Sudan's Western Darfur region, according to an aid group that works there. The Abu Shouk Emergency Response Room said Monday's assault was carried out by the Rapid Support Forces, RSF. The resistance committee in nearby El Fasher city, made up of local citizens and activists, also reported this. El Fasher, which came under intense attack as well, is the last major foothold in Darfur for the army and its allies, which have been fighting the paramilitary RSF in the 2-year civil war. The conflict has triggered a humanitarian crisis, with the UN warning that families trapped in the besieged city faced starvation. Tension.
And that's it for our package this evening. Thank you so much for watching. At 9 p.m, Beatrice Asiedu will come your way with Agenda, so do make a date. I am Martin Asiedu-Dartey.
And I am Portia. Gabor. Join Alfredo Kansa at 10 p.m. for Ghana Tonight. Good evening.